What's up, guys? My name is Con, and we're back today in Scrap Mechanic, and you can probably see there's something kind of hovering off in the corners there, and I don't really want to spend too much time talking about it. I just want to show this build first, and then we'll look at how it all works and what it all is. Alright, so we're just going to get up on the lift here into this massive hovercraft, and normally these doors would be closed, but you know, we can just open them there, and we'll go around here and we'll get into the cockpit. And we're going to get in the cockpit. We're going to press 1 to close that cockpit latch. And then we're going to fly around in the big ship here. So WASD controls, standard hovercraft, pretty stable. We'll just float across on the surface. Hovers relatively high. It actually hovers a little bit higher than the Hover City would. But just a very, very large hovercraft. We can press 2 to turn on these thrusters here. And then press 3. And these thrusters are in fact attached to a smaller hovercraft on an elevator. And once it decides to settle, like so, we can drive off. And it is a little bit tight because it is a perfect fit, but there we go. Now we have the smaller hovercraft and we can go exploring. But yeah, this hovercraft also flies with a WASD converter. It has that same kind of look. I really like it. It's relatively stable. I mean, if you go really quick into a corner, you can get it sometimes to tip up a little bit too much and start to fly like you had seen there. But overall, very, very stable hovercraft. I think it looks pretty cool. And it even looks awesome in first person because you've just got all this glass here. It's really cool to just drive underneath it. You can hear that WASD converter going there in the background. The coolest thing about this entire build is you just take your lovely small hovercraft and you go, you know what? I need to get back to the mothership there. So we're just going to back it up here, slowly but surely, back it up, back it in there. We're going to totally miss, that's okay. We'll just kind of rotate it a little bit more there, back it in. Now you do have to kind of wiggle it in a little bit there, just kind of back and forth. There we go. Eventually it'll get going nice and smooth. And then once it backs all the way in, eventually we'll do so. Come on, get back there. Perfect. You'll see that swing arm come down, and then you can press the 3 button. That activates this switch, which after a little bit of a delay will lift it back up into the main hover ship. Now its thrusters are still on, you can see, but when you press 2 you can turn them off, and it'll actually activate extra thrusters inside the ship to compensate for this one's weight. Now you can also see there's these little sensor bars that have swung in over top, and when you press W now, it will actually fire up a prop rod, which is what causes the actual big ship to activate. So you never actually have to get out of your cockpit. You can sit in your cockpit the entire time. You can hold S there and that'll activate the reverse. And then of course you've got A and D to turn left and to turn right. You can see there, that prop rod also activating. So normally those controllers won't activate. When you activate 2 here to activate the lift thrusters, you can see there they don't activate anymore when you're flying the small ship. But overall, this is Hover-ception. It is a hovercraft inside of a hovercraft, and they share the same controls. I'm really, really happy with this build, guys. I can't even stress this enough. It took a long, long time to figure out the controls and everything, but there was a viewer request at one point in time to build a sort of modular cockpit. Like a cockpit you could take from one vehicle to the next, and it would use the same sort of push rod system. And I thought, you know, that's pretty cool, but why don't we make an entire hovercraft inside of another hovercraft and have them both fully functional, but on the same set of controls? And that's exactly what this is. Now, there's really not much to explain. I mean, it's a very simple concept that flies really well. It does tip a little bit forward when it flies. I might try and rebalance that a little bit. I'm not sure yet how I want to do that, but it is a very stable flyer. I just love the look of it though, with all the glass. The mothership is a little bit large. It is sort of like a large flying cube, but you press 1 here and you can just, you know, jump out and we can walk around in the mothership. You got a lovely looking bridge here. Still hovering, of course. And then close that door. Now the circuitry is actually really, really simple. There's really just a few steps. So this sensor down here you can see in this platform activates when the smaller ship is close by, and that's what swings this sensor down. When you're leaving, you have enough forward thrust on the small ship just to sort of slide out from the sensor, and it works out well that way. So once this swing arm has come down from this sensor, then you have the ability to operate this switch here. Now, these little pipe pieces, they're actually on a rotating piece, and they'll rotate up. And when you activate them, which activates this sensor, that's what activates the whole lift sequence. And then once the lift is up, there are these two locks that kind of slide in to help keep it in place. Now, of course, there's a sensor on the lift, and that sensor is actually what indicates for the extra thrusters to activate in the front and help compensate for the weight of this craft. But overall, I'm super happy with this build. Did need to expand it a little bit up top here, you can see, just to accommodate the fact that you have to be able to stand up here. But super, super happy with it. It is a very simple ship. There's really not much to it. But it does come fully loaded. So you do have to... I was going to put an elevator on it, but originally I put sliding doors on this, and the number of pistons and bearings, it just got a little bit much with the two ships colliding. There turned out to be a little bit of lag, and I wasn't too excited by that. So I took the... I actually had sliding doors here, sliding glass doors, so I took them off, replaced them with just simple doors and a simple XOR switch, and then, of course, didn't put in an elevator. So if the ship is stuck up here, you just have to kind of get your lift and jump up onto the back here. But, of course, sometimes you need to go and do some maintenance on your engines. When you need to do that, it's always nice to have a hole, nice little ramp there you can get up, and it actually opens these two engine flaps up when you activate that door, so it's kind of nice. And it lets you get in, and the engines even have these lovely little staircases just to help you get out. But really a very simple design. It's got just a series of thrusters here in the back that activate, and then of course a bunch that activate on that sensor. And then a bunch of thrusters, 6 I believe on the front and the back of each one, and those help steer it, so it uses 12 thrusters to steer. And this timer circuit is just to help reduce the number of thrusters that activate when it's initially on the ground, because otherwise it takes off. And it still does. It kind of goes up really, really high, and then it takes a little bit for it to settle initially. All right, so we're gonna get in here. We're gonna press. Well, you know what? We're gonna fly a little bit more. We're gonna just turn here. It does turn relatively slow. It is a giant flying concrete block. And of course it is a mothership, so it's not really meant to be the fastest turning vehicle in the entire arsenal, but I think it's just absolutely awesome. I'm really, really happy with the way this turned out. And I wanted to do Hover-ception in some sort of different way from Planeception. I mean, Planeception was very difficult to try and get the plane back in, and it was sort of the first crack. Now you can see there, if you do maneuvers a little quick, then although this hovercraft in the front is very snug, sometimes it will sort of jostle a little bit and cause a little bit of lag. But we're just gonna go scout out what those things are over there. I don't remember. I think those are like failed designs, but we'll just wait here until it settles a little bit, and then we'll hit that 1 key, close the cockpit, hit that 3 key, let the elevator come down. I think the locks might be getting hung up there. Press 2 to activate those thrusters, and then we just drive off with W. You can see it slides off, and that bar comes up. All right, let's go check these things out. What do we got? This thing is definitely a lot faster than the main ship. Oh, we are entering unknown territory. Interesting, interesting. What is this? Oh, it's another control unit. Interesting. I don't know why it's there. We've also got some sort of weird... Oh, that was a completely unrelated project, actually, which now is completely knocked over. Oh goodness. All right. Alrighty, we are approaching. This is definitely a nice little land speeder. You can see it flies super, super stable as long as you don't take too steep of corners. It does have a WASD converter in the back. It's actually the only WASD converter for the entire build. It controls everything on the other one as well with the push rods. So, but it needed that, of course, to be able to do everything with logic and controllers. Back up, back up. All right, we're just gonna back into this. Holding that S key forever. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. A and D, A and D. There we go. Wiggle it back and forth. All right, and get in there, back up. Perfect. Bar down. Perfect. Hit that 3 key. Perfect. Waiting the 3 seconds. Elevator lift. turn off the thrusters. Number 2. All right, let's drive. Let's fly over this dismal place. These stupid designs. So anyways, guys, I really hope you guys like this build. It took a while to do, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I know it does look kind of blocky, but it's really the concept that I wanted to prove, and I really like how it functions. And to be honest, I really like the matching color schemes, and I do kind of like the giant glass dome on the front. If you did like this build, make sure you hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel. And put your suggestions for any other builds you want to see. This one is kind of like a hybrid of all the people who demanded planeception. There was a lot of things for like make a car in a plane, make a hovercraft in a plane. So I figure, you know what, a hovercraft and a hovercraft is definitely a crazy thing. And a hovercraft and a hovercraft that share the same controls so you never have to get out of the seat is just absolutely awesome. So we're just going to drop down again here. Boom. 2. Boom. Drive off. See you later. Goodbye once it decides to go. Come on, go. Go. There we go. Wiggle away, and... So anyways, guys, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.